good luck with it. On that note, I want to talk about the Imam of Peace, Imam Tawhidi. He is a Muslim imam who is very critical of Islam. He's interesting. I mean, maybe you might think he's blasphemous. You might think he's a shill. You might love him. Some people, you might be right-wing and say, oh, no, I don't like him just because he's Muslim. He's taqiyya. He's lying. Whatever it is, I think he's interesting and intriguing. But what's more interesting and intriguing is he's very critical of his own religion. He's like very outspoken. And I know people like this too. I want to say to right-wingers that follow me, if all Muslim people were bad extremists, you would know about it very quickly because there's 2 billion or so Muslims in the planet. So there's a lot of really great people. There's a majority of great. And there's a high percentage that aren't. And liberals and progressives need to understand that. If there's 2 billion Muslims and 400 million of them are radical, that's still 400 million people. But I do want to say Imam Tawhidi is a good one to follow to maybe not be so negative and nasty because I know there are people on the right that are. Anyway, he got an email from Twitter's legal department saying that he violated a Pakistani law. And they said, we're not going to do anything about it yet. We're just telling you. It's weird, though, because the Imam of Peace, Imam Tawhidi, he lives in Australia. He's never been to Pakistan. So why is Twitter's legal department working under Sharia law with Pakistan's government? I mean, this should raise some eyebrows no matter what political debate you're on. Free speech is important. The freedom and equality of women is important. LGBT, like that's liberal and progressive talking points. Why would you not be even remotely concerned? And maybe you are. I'm not trying to say you're not. But why would you not be remotely concerned that Twitter is working on behalf of the Pakistani government to try to silence people in Australia from speaking out against a religion because it's against the law of Pakistan? If you go to Iran, Pakistan, or Saudi Arabia, they operate under a extremist religious text. I mean, even in America, they don't like stone people if they're gay or something. It's not, we're super liberal in America. Like Christians have given a lot of leeway and you got to show love and respect them for that. It's a great place, Judeo-Christian or whatever Ben Shapiro would say. But it's not like that in Pakistan. It's not like that in Iran. It's not like that in Saudi Arabia. If you're a feminist, you should know this and you should try to prevent this from coming to the United States. But why is Twitter working on behalf of Pakistan's government? Well, I could tell you multiple reasons. Maybe it's for money. Google, they claim to be super liberal. They're so loving. They love women and the freedom in America. Well, they don't really like America, but they pretend to. Well, they don't even pretend to. They just hate America. But anyway, they work on behalf of totalitarian governments. They've worked, I believe, with China. Don't quote me on it. You could do your own research. They make a search engine that goes hand in hand with the totalitarian, authoritarian, communist government, so people can't find stuff. If you used internet in China, it's not the same internet. It's not a free internet. It's a heavily censored internet. All the tech companies are now working hand in hand with authoritarian governments, and they're also being authoritarian themselves. Like they're deleting some of my supporters. They can't watch this network anymore because they got deleted, permanently banned on Facebook. They're getting deleted and suspended for nothing. I mean, and it's not just conservatives, even transgenders who are like libertarian are getting suspended on Twitter. They are authoritarian. This is what I don't understand about the left. And if you're a good liberal and you're a good progressive, you will understand that America, with all our flaws, we're an amazing country because of the First Amendment. The freedom of speech, the ability to question Donald Trump and the government. Is hating on Donald Trump, is that counterculture? No, that's mainstream culture because America is liberal in its freedom of speech values. Try to live in Saudi Arabia and critique the government. See what happens. They'll chop you up into pieces like that guy they did in Turkey. Like you can't do that in other places. And they're bringing that same authoritarian ideology via Twitter, Facebook, and Google. So we're just private companies, even though they're working with governments hand in hand. And they're bringing like Sharia law, Islamic law, authoritarian communism, right-wing extremist dictatorship, whatever side you want to pin it on, or race or religion, I don't care. It's not really race, it's more religion. But they're doing that. Twitter is doing that. They're telling people in Australia, they're trying to threaten Islamic people in Australia that Pakistan's government's not very happy with them. But they don't even live in Pakistan. So if you're Muslim in Australia, you have to get a message from Twitter's legal team telling you that it doesn't apply to Pakistani law. Are they I mean, Another thing to look at is who's invested. I say this all the time, but Prince bin Talal, or whatever his name is, a Saudi dude, billionaire, he's invested in Twitter. He's a big shareholder. He was a big shareholder in News Corp, which owns Fox News and New York Post and stuff. He's a big shareholder in Lyft. He's a big shareholder in a lot of tech companies. I mean, the list goes on and on. Just Google bin Talal or Saudi Prince Tech startup, I don't know, whatever you want to figure out how to Google that. So my question is, are liberals, at least I know a lot of people who follow, they're just so wrapped up in race, religion, and gender that they believe this stuff, but are the people at the top, are they useful idiots who actually think they're helping women, children in America? Or are they Islamic extremists who are purposely trying to subvert the United States under Chinese-style communism, or is Sharia law-style, speech dictation? I'm all for, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, doing whatever you want to do to your own people, your family, living in, but freedom of speech is not debatable. That's the cornerstone of American society. So if your religion and your mindset includes subverting the United States and taking away our freedom, it doesn't coincide. And I don't think a lot of people want to do that, but Twitter does and Google does. So once again, Imam of Peace, Imam of Tawhidi, Twitter's legal department reached out to him saying he violated Pakistan's law, even though he's never been to Pakistan. Really creepy. Thank you guys for joining. I got 3 more stories. The next story is about